Well, hello there. Tis I, Dave Murray, the big guy at Mayniax Branding, and today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about the values of Mayniax Branding, which, spoiler alert, are actually my values. Yeah. As an entrepreneur, solopreneur, business owner, I still got to work on an acronym there. Help me out in the comments if you can think of one. It's all about you. It's all about what you decide the values are. And it has to be based on who you are. And the nice thing about the values and the nice thing about the why and a lot of the earlier parts of setting up your brand is that it's sort of the gatekeeper for the people who are going to decide whether or not they want to deal with you. I'll talk in this video about the 4 values of Mayniax Branding, and some of you listening might say, I would never work with that person based on those values. And that's okay. That means you won't get a hold of me and we'll both be happy. Some of you are going to listen and say, I kind of like this guy. And you'll get a hold of me and we'll both be happy. That's just how it works. You can't please everybody. And you don't even want to try. So without further ado, let's get into those values. Value number 1, which should come as no surprise to anyone who's been paying attention to me for any length of time, is entrepreneurship. Now, when your why is the belief that entrepreneurs are the key to making this world a better place, you have to know that that's kind of an important thing when it comes to the values of Mayniax Branding. It's one of those beliefs where you get an entrepreneur who really starts to nail it, and they hire people, which makes those people's lives better, which has a cascade effect and makes their families' lives better. And if your business is really into helping a lot of people, getting the brand going so that its goal is to be helpful, then you're going to help a whole lot of people outside of there, thus making their lives better. You can see how this all works. It's something that I think is highly important, and it's something that I think only business owners, solopreneurs, and entrepreneurs have the ability to do. As their influence grows amongst all these people, maybe their influence locally and statewide and federally, even if we're talking politics, grows. And suddenly, instead of sugar water companies, tech companies, and pharmaceutical companies making all the calls because, you know, they're the ones that can afford the lobbyists. Now we've got brands that are trying to help other people in there making those calls, which I think probably ends up with a much better cascading effect than if you have somebody that just wants to sell a whole lot of Coke to kids. Yeah, that could be taken a couple ways. I'm talking the sugar water people. Let's get on to number 2. Now, the second value of Mayniax Branding is no bigotry. Now, what does that have to do with branding or entrepreneurship or really anything I talk about? Absolutely nothing and everything. The fact is, like I said before, your values are a reflection of you. Now, there are laws out there that tell you you can't discriminate based on whatever, based on this, that, the other thing. And those laws are designed to help those people out. But the fact is, if you have somebody at the top that even though those laws exist, they might not want certain kinds of people working for them. I'm not really that guy. I like a lot of ideas. I like a lot of different backgrounds. I like a lot of different kinds of people. The only kind of thing that I think I would be bigoted or discriminatory against would be anyone associated with a hate group, like that reads the Huffington Post or Breitbart. Yeah, that was a joke, but you understand what I'm talking about. Some people are going to not discriminate because the law tells them to. Some people are not going to discriminate because that's just who they are. They don't see the point in it. They see it as kind of stupid to discriminate against people based on a whole lot of things that people apparently seem to do it based on. So yeah, not me, and not Mayniax Branding. Let's get on to that third value, shall we? And the third big-time value for Mayniax Branding is health. That's right, friends. A healthy entrepreneur is a happy entrepreneur. And everyone in that entrepreneur's life, be it clients, be it their teams, be it their vendors, be it their friends and family, is much happier because you're healthy. So when I talk health, what am I talking about? I'm talking I really try to eat well. I'm not always successful. I'm not going to be one of those people that says you'll never see me out in the open eating some ice cream or a donut or a slice of pizza. But I do make much better decisions than bad decisions probably 90% of the time. I feel it's that important, and I'm one of those that knows that the worse I eat, the worse I'm going to feel. Not because of science, because of experience. I also am one of those guys who wants to exercise all the time. I'm one of those, I need to get that done. It just feels better to me. If I eat well and I exercise, I feel like I'm ready to take on whatever out there. That's why health is so important to me. And that's why, because it's important to me, it's a big part of Mayniax Branding as well. So, hey, if you have any kind of crazy health practice you enjoy or that you really think helps you out, leave it in the comments. Let me know what that is. And now, on to number 4. And the fourth value of Mayniax Branding is fun. Yeah, fun. I know, that seems totally foreign in any kind of professional, corporate, anything. But it really is something that is a huge part of me. I was raised to be a bit of a smart aleck. That's right, kids, keeping it PG. I grew up watching Johnny Carson in the latter part of his career. I got into Letterman when I was far younger than probably most people did. I got into SNL also probably when I was much younger than most people did. Uh, my folks got me into Mel Brooks comedies. Dad had me listening to people like George Carlin and all kinds of just comedians. I grew up needing to be a smart aleck in home. In fact, I'm sure people today will be out and about and I'll be talking and crack some joke. I'm sure that somebody with some kind of psychology degree or any kind of psychology background will think to themselves, man, he's just covering up for something, or he's insecure about whatever and blah, blah, blah. No, I grew up that way. I was raised to be that person. Insecure looks totally different. I'm not even sure what that looks like with me. Might have to look into that. But it's just how I was raised. I have a friend, this is a just sidebar story, who was raised with a couple brothers and a sister. And he made it sound like he had to fight for food. Now I know his family. It wasn't that. But because of this, we would go out. I used to work with him, and we used to work with this big group of people and everything. So we'd go out to the bar or whatever after work. He would sit there and he'd order, say, a sampler platter. He was hungry. He'd load up on that and he'd sit at the bar just like this. And if somebody tried reaching around to grab a wing or something, it was always like he was throwing elbows. Now, obviously, you should ask first, but the fact is, it kind of turned into a game because let's see if we can get him to throw elbows. So it's just how I was raised. I was raised to be the fun guy. I'm not the guy that's raised to hang out in cubicles. When I was working with that guy, I would bring in Nerf guns and we would have Nerf wars all through the halls. And somehow I kept my job, but it was a pretty stuffy office, so that didn't last very long. But that's why you're going to get goofiness in these videos. That's why you're going to see just crazy little jokes and all kinds of stuff. I can't help it. And I think that Mayniax Branding needs to be a reflection of that. Just look at the name, Mayniax. It's a big differentiator. You're most of the time going to get people that you're like, yeah, I don't really want to talk to that person ever, but I guess I need to do this. Whereas with Mayniax, hey, you can at least count on somebody trying to make you chuckle a bit whenever you're dealing with them. So there you go. That's the values. So there you go, folks. A video on the values of Mayniax Branding. Hopefully it'll make you think of your own values and how to put them into your brand, because they really are great things to use for gatekeeping. You're going to get people that check them out and say, yeah, I don't want anything to do with this person. And you're also going to get people who are going to check them out and say, hey, I relate to this person. So you're really only going to be dealing with people you want to deal with anyway. Values, a good thing to put in your brand. So if you enjoy this content, if you're digging the videos, head on over to Mayniax Branding on patreon.com. There, you'll be able to support us for just a $3 a month deal if you just like what we stand for. And if you want to learn how to build your own brand without paying tens of thousands of dollars and at only $10 a month, you can also do it there, where I put up exclusive how-to videos for building your own brand. Step one's up, step two will be up this week. Check it out, see if you like it. Remember, if you don't, you can cancel whenever you want. There's no contract here. It's a beautiful thing. So that's all I got for you today, folks. Everybody have fun, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, stay gutsy, gang.